This tutorial is about asymmetric V-folds. It's really aimed at boffs who want to make their own interesting, unusual designs. So I haven't got any commercial examples to show you. I'm just going to explain to you how to make some really intriguing designs. For this you will need a protractor. There's a lot of angles involved. So first of all, this was one of my early experiments. So that I could design my own, I experimented with making asymmetric V-folds, and I made a whole lot of different ones, noting down the angles, so that if in any sort of design I wanted to make a particular shape, I could go through this and find which angles would give me the sort of shapes that I wanted. So this was my book of examples. Then I started thinking about maybe you could take them further, so building asymmetric V-folds on asymmetric V-folds. This was one example. I'll explain how to make this. So this is all one piece, but it's a really interesting shape. I then took it even further and started experimenting with how you could make asymmetric V-folds on asymmetric V-folds on asymmetric V-folds. So I started getting this type of shape. Really, this tutorial is showing you how to play like this so that you can work out designs for yourself and come up with some really intriguing and unusual pop-up designs. You don't have to look at it this way. You can look at it with the book as a background. And so when you start looking at it this way, you also start getting some really interesting effects that you can play with. And the other thing to think about with these is they're all producing multiple planes. These ones all have 6 planes. So any of those planes can have other pieces stuck onto them and can be extended. They also have mountain folds and valley folds that you can cut into, and you can add counterfolds. These can just be starting points for really complex designs. So here's one I made, which is an asymmetric V-fold on an asymmetric V-fold. And yeah, like I say, you could go on, take it further and start bending in pieces like that. So this is going to be symmetric because I'm doing it while it's standing up. There you've immediately got another 2 planes that can be extended, as well as any of these can have little pieces stuck onto them. Anyway, I'll now show you how to design these, how to play around with this idea. I go through this and choose a pair of angles that I thought I liked the shape it was giving, and I thought maybe this would be a good one. It's 75 degrees on one side and 45 on the other. So on the back, one side is 60 degrees, and by the method of folding the thing shut, the other side will find its natural place, so we can do that. We start off by just ruling that central line, not scoring it, it's just ruling it. So that's the initial line. And then onto that, we leave enough gap to put tabs on the bottom. And then it was 75, 45. So that's centering it there. 75 is just here. And 45 is an easy one. That's there. Okay, those 2 lines can be scored. They're going to be where the initial tabs of the pop-up are going to be. And then we decide how high we want the whole pop-up, the first stage of it to go. So maybe up to here. So we can score that bit on the central line. Now we can score 2 more lines where the next stage is going to go. So maybe we'll go something like that. And the other one will make more acute, maybe something like that. So they're both different, so it's going to be asymmetric. And now this is where you have to use the protractor again, or you could do it by cutting out bits of card to measure the angles with, but anyway, put that on there. This angle from that initial central guideline, what we've got here is exactly 40 degrees. This is 40 degrees off that initial line. We now measure 40 degrees off this other crease. So we come 40 degrees off, and that's just there. That is going to be the next spine. So we don't score this bit that we initially marked, we score that bit. We could stop there, which would give us one of these. It's just 2 stages of asymmetry. But if we want, we can take it on a 3rd stage. So we'll extend this line just as a guide. So this is now the equivalent of our starting line. Now again, we draw in the equivalent of these two. These two are the first ones. These are their equivalents. Now we draw 2 more. I am doing this completely off the cuff, so I have no idea what shape it's going to end up like. And we'll make this one quite acute. And now we measure that angle from the central crease. So put that there. That angle is, oddly enough, that's almost 40. Again, it's 41. So it's nearly the same as this angle here. Now we measure off this one, the other side that we'd already scored. We measure up 41, 10, 20, 30, 41, just there. And that's going to be our spinal fold. So now we can score that. And at this point, we better just cut it out and see what happens. It might be terrible. You know, some of those practice ones in that other book, just, they weren't really working, but we'll see what this does. This is going to be 2 tabs, so we can cut into them. We can cut that off, cut that back a bit more, cut that off. And now there's the tricky bit, which is actually creasing them, because although they're scored, which gives you a guide, they're not symmetrical, so it's more difficult to fold. So this is going to be a mountain fold. I guess that's going to be a mountain as well, actually. So all those are mountains, and in the middle, that's going to be a valley. And then these are going to be valley, mountain, valley. There we are. So that's the beginning of it, and that carries on like that. This is the shape we've got, and how that rises on the page you'll find out once we've stuck it down. I could rub out the guidelines so it's more pleasing to look at, or we could, I suppose, have looked at it from the other side. Now we can glue it down, and I think on that initial one that I was basing this on, I think it was 75, 45, and the angle under the 45 was 60 degrees. This is going to stick on, this is the 45 degree one, so we need to do a guideline of 60 on here. It's the protractor, we'll measure it from there. Coming in at 60 degrees is 50, 60. We only need one guideline because we can fold the whole thing shut, and then it'll find its own natural sticking position. So put some glue on that. Fold the whole thing into its closed position. We don't want the tab going over the central crease, so I have to slice a little piece off there. Shut the page, see what happens. Well, it's almost coming back down to the page. Not quite, but quite an interesting shape that we could then play with by taking pieces like this, adding them on. So Something like this could be added in here. So we're playing with those two planes. Something like this can be coming up off here. We could add a counterfold into this gully here. So if we fold that as a counterfold, that can be popped in. Got two more planes there that can be added to. It does look pretty abstract, and I don't think I've made the most of the technique, but really I was just explaining to you how to play with asymmetric V-folds and build more asymmetric V-folds onto them. And I know it has huge potential. If you have the time and the interest and inclination, I'm sure you can make some amazing designs with this.